Greetings from Columbia, South Carolina, and welcome in to the Colonial Life Arena. It's basketball night in the capital city as the South Carolina Gamecocks play host to the Spartans of Norfolk State. Hello, everybody. I am Birch Antley, joined by NBA Hall of Famer Alex English. Alex, South Carolina head coach Frank Martin said his team was manhandled in their loss to Stony Brook last week, especially in the paint, out-rebounded by 16 by Stony Brook. Mike Kotsar, Chris Silva, the two bigs, only 2 rebounds the entire game.
And you cannot have your bigs play like that. You know, you've got all SEC power forward who's one of the lead rebounders. They've got to show up. The Gamecocks have to have he and Mike Kotsar. They gave up 24 second chance points. You cannot win basketball games like that.
In 2 games, Silva and Kotsar combined 10 rebounds per game. Meanwhile, the newcomers, A.J. Lawson, the freshman, and the other freshman, Keyshawn Bryant, averaging 6.5 rebounds per game.
And you've got your freshman new players coming in. They're dominating the offense. They're keeping you in the game offensively. You need some of these guys like Justin Minaya, Felipe Haase, Chris Silva, Mike Kotsar. They've got to step up offensively. They've got to give more. Asani Gravett is another guy. They've got to have them step up. They've got to play their game. They've got a role to play tonight. They need to play their roles.
Meanwhile, Norfolk State, the Spartans 2-1 on the season. They hit 100 earlier this year, so they can score the basketball. Frank Martin said his team must muscle up here tonight. Norfolk State, 75.3 points per game through 3 games, outscoring their opponents by 22.
And you know, looking at the video from this game, the last game the Gamecocks played, and the game before that, their confidence has to be boosted. They have to feel like, hey, we can go in there and win this basketball game. Look for them to push the ball up the floor, put them in pick and rolls, drive and kick, and try and get those bigs in foul trouble again.
Saw Chris Silva, 7 points on 1 of 5 shooting from the floor against Stony Brook, and lost in that game. Chris Silva hit the 1,000-point club.
Yes, because it was such a blasé game, nobody really noticed it. I think Chris Silva's probably putting a lot of pressure on himself. He's got to settle down. He's got to relax, take some of the pressure off. Just know that, everybody on his team has got a role to play. He's just one of the role players. Do what you do best and stay with that.
Chris Silva's first college basketball game as a Gamecock, it was against the Norfolk State Spartans in the only meeting between these two teams. South Carolina in the white, attacking the goal to the right, and Chris Silva's shot.
And it's good to see Chris Silva get that first shot at the basket. Gamecock looking inside, trying to attack the rim early with their bigs, giving them an opportunity to get their games flowing.
Here's Stephen Whitley driving in for Norfolk State, and quickly in transition, South Carolina and Trey Campbell. Trey Campbell, season-high 15 points in Friday's loss to Stony Brook.
4 threes. That's the best they've had this year. Only played 2 games, but that was a big boost for him. Look for him to come out, shoot that 3. They need that. They need to have somebody making 3s.
A.J. Lawson chunks up a 3. Chris Silva not there for the rebound as it goes down to Stephen Whitley, the 6'3 redshirt junior, the Robert Morris transfer. He was the team MVP last year and the leading scorer for the Spartans, averaging 12.2 per contest.
And he's the one guy that the Gamecock coaches are saying, we've got to make sure we know where he's at. We've got to focus on him. We've got to keep him out of the paint. We've got to play the pick and roll ball screen. And like that time, you see him do a pretty good job with it.
Frank Martin said that South Carolina did not do a good job whatsoever on the ball screens, defending the ball screens as Trey Campbell buries the 3-pointer, and South Carolina takes the early lead here with 18:20 to play in the first.
And that was one of the reasons why Chris Silva set out those last 10 minutes of the last game, because Frank didn't feel that he was doing a good job guarding the ball screen.
Here's Alex Long, the 6'8 senior out of Clinton, Maryland, averaging 6.3 points per contest. There's a block by Mike Kotsar.
And you want to see a lot more of that. Help the helper.
Kotsar, first rebound since the 3:17 mark of the second half. In the season opener against USC Upstate, he had no rebounds against Stony Brook.
And you better believe that's playing on his mind. So he's really focused on going out, rebounding on both ends of the floor because they need that from him.
Foul on Jordan Butler, his first. 3-0 Gamecocks early going here from the Colonial Life Arena in Columbia. This is part of the Hall of Fame Tip-Off Classic. Kotsar banks it in, and it's 5-0 South Carolina.
And I watched Gamecocks practice on working against this 2-3 zone yesterday, looking for that big at the top, at the elbow. If he's got the opportunity to drive the basket, drive it. Put them in rotation.
You get a feeling that head coach Frank Martin was probably calling out some guys, especially the three upperclassmen, Kotsar, Silva, and Felipe Hasse, in practice these last couple of days.
Yes, he has been. He has been on them pretty hard. Just trying to get them going. Get them going. And you see Chris Silva gets that foul. Didn't look like it was a foul. He was trying to take the charge. That's what I call a good foul. He wasn't overly aggressive. Official just didn't give him the call. It could have gone either way.
Here's Stephen Whitley, 60% free throw shooter this year. Redshirt junior.
And Whitley, he's a driver. He's going to drive the basket, always going downhill, looking for the drive and kick, trying to draw the defense.
Lawson quickly ahead to Trey Campbell. Campbell to Kotsar, now to Minaya, and a whistle away from the basketball.
Maybe that's a payback call for Chris Silva. Chris Silva getting down in the paint, getting position, calling for the ball, doing a good job with his lower body of keeping that big off of it.
And that's Jordan Butler's second foul. We've got 17 minutes to play here in the first. South Carolina ahead by 5. Lawson driving in. And it's Carolina basketball.
And you have to like Lawson and Bryan. These guys, they go to the hole. They're long, lanky, a lot of athleticism, aren't afraid to get to the rim and dunk the ball if they've got the opportunity.
Minaya for 3, left side, too strong. And the rebound collected by Norfolk State as it goes down to Derek Jamerson, the 6'5 senior from Detroit. 3 rebounds per game this season for Jamerson. Nick Thomas has his shot altered. And here's Lawson and the Gamecocks leading 5-0 early in this contest. Kotsar driving in on C.J. Kelly.
One of the things the Gamecocks want to do as well, they want to get down the floor in transition. They want to attack the rim. That time, Mike Kotsar attacked the rim, just couldn't manage to hold on to the ball. But look for them to do a lot of attacking the rim, pushing the ball up the floor.
Whitley, dribble drive, banks it in off the glass with the lay-in, and that's the first points for the Spartans. 5-2 Carolina. Just under 16 minutes to play here in the first. Lawson, skip pass underneath. Kotsar bottled up. Campbell, left side. And Silva not in good position to collect that rebound, and he is out-rebounded by the 6'8 senior Alex Long.
Great ball movement by the Gamecocks on that end.
And we've got our first timeout with the Gamecocks leading by 3 over Norfolk State. Here in Columbia, South Carolina, with a 3-point lead over Norfolk State early in this ball game here from the Colonial Life Arena. Hello again, everybody. Birch Antley, NBA Hall of Famer, South Carolina legend Alex English. Alex, South Carolina got started with a quick three-pointer, but it still looks like Chris Silva is not comfortable boxing out, getting the rebounds.
And I feel like he's a little putting too much pressure on himself. He's got to relax. He's got to realize that everybody has a role to play on this team. His role is to do what he does, rebound, defend, block shots, and score sometimes, and let the rest of his teammates be a part of what he's doing. Take some of the pressure off of him. And I think once he gets a good game under his belt, he'll be okay.
His role is to be a senior, and his role is to be a preseason first-team All-SEC player.
That too.
South Carolina basketball. Here's Felipe Hasse. Hasse leading the team in block shots. Hasse underneath. Kick out. Lawson for three. Front iron and big rebound for Alex Long. Norfolk State quickly on the attack.
And they're going to do that every opportunity they get. They're going to push the ball up the floor, especially now that Chris Silva, the shot blocker, is out of the game. They're going to be looking to push and attacking the rim.
Trey Campbell, point guard for South Carolina, who had a knee injury, did not play for Georgetown last year before transferring to Carolina as a graduate. And here's Lawson with a three-pointer, but South Carolina a little lackadaisical getting back on defense, except Mike Kotsar.
And no, I think that was Lawson. Lawson got back to block that shot, did a great job after making the shot, getting back to block the shot, a little lackadaisical getting back on.
And Lawson.
Now he hits his second three in a row.
Off the square. A.J. Lawson, the 6'6 freshman from Toronto, leading scorer for South Carolina, had the team high 23 points against Stony Brook. Frank Martin has been raving about this young man all season, and even before the season started, saying Lawson just brings a different dynamic to the guard position.
And he has no fear. He's kind of like P.J. Dozier, long, lanky, good ball handler, but a better three-point shooter.
Silky smooth there from Mike Kotsar, who looks like a changed man between Friday night against Stony Brook and tonight here against Norfolk State.
And Birch going to practice, watching Frank get on these guys and telling them how they've got to play. They've got to show up every night. And you can see that Mike Kotsar, he's got that intent on his face. He's ready to play tonight.
So in comes Hassani Gravett. Kotsar will get a breather along with Trey Campbell, and also number 24, Keyshawn Bryant, a very fearless freshman as well, had a team-high 21 points, 7 rebounds in the season opener against USC Upstate, and boy, does he have a vertical game. Yes,
he does. And I like this team that he's got on the floor right now. They're a lot faster. They're a better shooting team. They're going to be looking to drive the basket. You got Hasse in the middle on the zone, pretty good shooter.
Here's Bryant, loses the handle, driving into traffic, and coming away with it is Stephen Whitley for Norfolk State.
And that's the one thing I'm concerned about with Keyshawn Bryant. He got to take better control of the ball. I see him lose the ball too many times, and he's got to be better with his handle. He's got to see what's going on around him defensively, and he's got to be stronger with the ball.
First foul on A.J. Lawson. South Carolina leading 13-4, just over 13 minutes to play before half. Armani Branch, who transferred in from VMI, played 27 games as a junior at VMI, averaging 7 points per game and nearly 4 rebounds.
And he looks like he likes to drive to the basket, draw fouls. Like he's got pretty good form on his jump shot.
And certainly not the haircut he would have had as a cadet at VMI.
No. And a lefty. Lefties I always found lefties hard to guard, being a right-handed, right-minded player. When the lefty comes at you, it's hard for you to move your feet to get in front of him, play defense, because you're not expecting a lefty. Gamecocks doing a pretty good job breaking the press.
Silva back on the floor for this rotation for Carolina with Gravett, Campbell, Minaya, and Hasse.
And what they want to do is find Chris Silva in the middle, give him an opportunity to drive the basket or make the jump shot.
Silva, kick out. Gravett wants a three from the top. Count it. Deep three ball for Hassani Gravett, and it looks like some of these guys are answering Frank Martin's challenge.
Yes, they are, and it's good to see Hassani Gravett get that early three-pointer. Helps him relax.
South Carolina has made their last 4 shots. On to a 10-point early lead here over Norfolk State. Second meeting all time between the two schools. And South Carolina has been pretty good against competition from the MEAC. Gamecocks have a 26-1 record against teams from the MEAC. That only loss, Gamecock fans, you don't want to know about it. It was Coppin State, first round of the NCAA tournament back in 1997.
I think most Gamecock fans remember that.
Gamecocks were a 2 seed. 10-point lead for Frank Martin and the Carolina Gamecocks. Sunday, we'll have number 2 Kentucky on the SEC Network when they host VMI at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 Central. You can always watch on the ESPN app from anywhere. There's a young fella enjoying a 10-point lead as the Gamecocks outpacing Norfolk State with 11:54 to play in the half. And Alex English, talking about young folks, how about Jordan Varner, who sang our national anthem before we got the game underway, a day after Veterans Day? And boy, she just gave me chills.
Yes, you and I both. She was out of sight. They should have her on The Voice. America's Got Talent. That's even better. Gamecocks in their 3-quarter court press, back into a zone. Takes a lot of pressure off of the individual man-to-man defense. Keep those bigs out of foul trouble. All they got to do is move their feet and contest shots.
South Carolina with 7 rebounds, 5 for the Spartans. So South Carolina out-rebounding the Spartans is Chris Silva with a big block. And coming away with it is Campbell for Carolina. Hasse over to Gravitt. Gravitt for 3. That's 2 in a row for Hassani Gravitt. He's got 6 points.
And the Gamecocks, they are clicking on offense early. You've got Gravitt, you've got Lawson. Both make 2 threes early in the game. That should give them some confidence. That you see, that'll make a lot of the other shots after this a lot easier to shoot.
Just saw Robert Jones, 6 seasons as the head coach for Norfolk State. Has his team with a 2-1 record right now. They finished tied for 4th in the MEAC last year with an 11-5 record, and they are predicted to finish 4th in the MEAC this season.
And they are a well-coached team as well. Coach Jones has done a pretty good job with this squad.
Hasse for 3. Rattles out. There's Silva with a big offensive rebound, but he loses it on the floor as 3 yellow jerseys right there.
That looks like a travel. Gamecocks are going to have to really focus on getting back in transition. This team wants to push the ball down your throat. They want to get easy baskets. They realize that they can't play with this team in the half court, so they want to get down the floor and get easy layups if they can.
Checking in, Keonze Chavis, the 6'4" redshirt sophomore out of Chesapeake, Virginia. Did not play last year as a partial qualifier, but he finished the spring semester on the athletic director's honor roll list. Trey Campbell for 3. This is left iron. Well, one thing Robert Jones, the head coach for Norfolk State, has in his favor is, well, that Tidewater area of Virginia, that is a hotbed of talent, especially you've got Boo Williams, that AAU team there. It always just challenges in every national tournament.
A lot of players come out of that area. Allen Iverson came out of that area, a player I got to coach at Philadelphia years ago. One of the great players in the NBA.
Gravitt launches another 3. He's 2 for 3 from behind the arc. South Carolina ahead 19-6. 2 field goals, 2 turnovers for Norfolk State. Silva getting in late there on Alex Long.
And Whitley doing a good job going downhill, getting to the rim, finding the open guy. That's what they want to do. They want to get those bigs of Carolina in trouble, in foul trouble. So they're going to attack the rim every opportunity they get. And Whitley is very good at that.
Foul on Felipe Hasse. Let's take another look. Yeah, got in on the elbow there on Alex Long. Long 50% from the charity stripe this season.
And you could see in that last play, Chris Silva really focusing on not bringing those arms down, slapping down at the man. Those are the kind of fouls, those are kind of little fouls that officials will call. Don't want to get those fouls.
Second shot is in. 19-8, 11-point Gamecocks advantage. Beneath 10 minutes to play until halftime. Kutzar gets it across the line to Lawson. Lawson, triple drive. And he'll go to the line as he is fouled.
And when you're trapped or you're pressed like that, the one thing you want to do is get it down the floor and attack the rim. Lawson does a good job of getting there, ended up drawing the foul.
And Stephen Whitley's first foul.
Birch, as I was saying earlier, you know, everybody on the team has a role to play. Chris Silva has to recognize it. Everybody's got their role. All he has to do is his role. When everybody is doing what they're supposed to do, it takes pressure off of your teammates. All they have to do is focus on their job. And it makes the game a lot easier.
A.J. Lawson missing both attempts, but on the other side defensively, South Carolina's Trey Campbell comes away with it, but a little out of control. Ball on the floor, picked up by Silva, and off of Silva. It's going to be Norfolk State basketball.
Good hustle by Chris Silva getting back. Looked like it was a lost ball.
Actually, it's going to be Carolina basketball. As they say, it was off one of the Spartan players. So Carolina at inbounds underneath their own basket. 9:22 to play. Gamecocks leading 19-8. 2 3-pointers from A.J. Lawson, 2 from Hassani Gravett.
Official called a hook on Kotsar, and it was a hook. He just used his body to get that advantage to go around the man. Here it is right here. He hooks him with his hand, gets around him. That's a foul you have to call.
Yeah, Kotsar just trying to brush aside the defender, and that is a good call. Our officials tonight, Patrick Evans, Peter Juzenis, and R.B. Clyburn.
First call on Kotsar tonight.
Officials making sure that that foul was on Kotsar and not Chris Silva. Here's Mustadi Pitt, a 6'1" sophomore out of Hampton, Virginia, just into the ball game, number 0.
Gamecocks doing a pretty good job of closing out, rotating on defense, contesting shots.
Air ball on that long 3-point try.
And that's because the defender got a hand up, contested the shot. That's what you have to do.
That's what Chris Silva has to do. That's his role there.
That's the Chris Silva we know. Go to the hole hard, throw it down if you get the opportunity.
That's Silva's first dunk of the season. Comes with 8:23 or so in this ball game here in the first. Carolina up big, 21-8.
And they're doing a good job of moving the ball. Pretty good job defensively as well.
First look we'll have of TJ Moss, the 6'2 freshman from Memphis, Tennessee, played down at Findlay Prep in Nevada, where he had 6.2 assists. Injured his foot in the exhibition against Augusta, and a lot of fans have been wanting to see TJ Moss.
And he's another one of those long, lanky freshmen who can play. Very athletic. Pretty good passer. And can shoot the three as well.
Three guys on the floor right now that really could run point for Frank Martin in Gravitt, Lawson, and Moss. Fadeaway is good for Silva.
And you look at, just looking at Chris Silva's face, he looks more relaxed. He looks more into the game. He's kind of settled down.
Alex, could it be said that Gravitt and Kotsar coming out strong kind of spurs Chris Silva somewhat, maybe?
Yes, it does. You know, he realizes that, you know, he's got a role. And, you know, he is the guy that has been highly touted all year. He's got to show up.
Lawson, deep three, off the mark. 7:25 to play, and it is all South Carolina. Boy, the Gamecocks answering Frank Martin's challenge as they lead 23-12. South Carolina out-rebounding Norfolk State, out-shooting the Spartans, and outscoring Norfolk State as they lead 23-12. Birch Antley, Alex English with you. And Alex, South Carolina doing a much better job on the ball screens.
They are. That's what Coach Martin wanted to see. Chris Silva, Kotsar. But what they're doing is they're forcing Norfolk State to shoot threes. So they're going under the screen and roll. The big is hedging, the big is protecting. And they're saying, hey, take the three. We're going to see if you can make it. And they have not made the threes. They are only 0 for 2. They only took 2. 0 for 2. So Gamecocks doing a much better job on the ball screen, the high pick and roll.
And they forced 7 Norfolk State turnovers, South Carolina has. And South Carolina doing a much better job shooting from the three-point line as opposed to the first game of the season when they went 0 for 18 against USC Upstate tonight. Here in the first half, 5 for 13.
And that's got to boost their confidence.
Naya unable to launch that three-pointer. Unable to land that three-pointer, I should say. And here are the Spartans with Pitt being guarded by TJ Moss for South Carolina. Leading scorer for the Gamecocks, A.J. Lawson with 6. 2 three-pointers. A.J. 2 of 6 from the floor. He's gone somewhat cold since hitting those back-to-back three-pointers, as Lawson now with 2 personal fouls. So at the line is Chavis.
And right now Carolina's got 3 ball handlers in the game, so they can push the ball up. They can see what they can get in transition. Try and get it inside to the bigs. Force them to play them inside.
It's Campbell, Moss, and Lawson, along with Hasse and Silva, on the floor for Frank Martin's Gamecocks. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Now 3. Good perimeter defense as the Spartans force Carolina into a shot clock violation.
Yeah, they moved the ball well, but they've got to know what the time is on the clock. You can't move it for 30 seconds. I mean, you've got to know what's happening. That's the point guard's job. You got to know what the time is on the clock, when to take the shot.
And that's why Trey Campbell is having a seat.
That's right.
As Frank Martin reminding him of that. 23-12 Gamecocks, Norfolk State basketball with 6 minutes to play until halftime.
That's the other thing Chris Silva does well. He probably led the team in taking charges last year.
Second personal foul on Whitley. Minaya banks it in.
And that's what I would like to see more of Justin Minaya. I would like to see him be more aggressive offensively. Relax. If you've got an opportunity to drive the hole, drive the hole. You don't always have to shoot a three. You can pump fake, 1-2 dribble pull-up.
First points of the night for Justin Minaya, the sophomore, who had a good game against Stony Brook. 11 points, 9 rebounds.
Gamecocks doing a good job on their bicycles, rotating.
Big three-pointer there for Armani Branch.
And that was a big three.
Third three-pointer of the season for Branch. And it's 25-15. Norfolk State cuts the lead to 10.
And last defensive possession was a good defensive possession. They just didn't get there in time. They rotated. They contested the shot. He just ended up making it.
Nick Thomas on the foul, his first. Lawson, right side. Three-point attempt rattles out, and it's Norfolk State basketball.
One thing about Lawson, he doesn't mind putting that ball up.
Nice floater there for Mustadi Pitt, the sophomore, with 5 points now, coming off the bench for Coach Robert Jones.
And the Spartans have cut it to 8 points.
That is a good-looking shot right there by Felipe Hasse.
And that's the weak spot in the zone, that middle. You get the ball in the middle, you turn, you can either take your shot, you can drive the basket, you'll find a guy open every time. Gamecocks did a good job of taking advantage of it with Hasse in the middle. Good shooter.
Hasse with 2 points.
Now that is questionable. I guess we have to see whether he was inside the circle or not, but I thought Chris Silver outside did a good job of taking the charge. That's questionable. That's a good foul. That's
looked like a good call to me.
It looked like a good call because you saw him moving, but it looked like he got there and got his body in front of him. But I'm not the official.
Another angle.
He was outside of the circle. I guess he calls he was still moving a little bit.
Nick Thomas, 80% free throw shooter, initials that one, and Minaya gets the rebound off the tip from Gravett. South Carolina leading by 10. 4 minutes to play here in the first. Chris Silva with 2 fouls. Keyshawn Bryant back on the floor for the Gamecocks.
And Keyshawn Bryant is a good guy to have at that middle position because he will attack the rim.
Trey Campbell's three-point attempt spinning out. And the Gamecocks with a 10-point advantage here in Columbia at the Colonial Life Arena. 3:48 to play until halftime. Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 Central, the SEC Nation Traveling Pregame Show with Laura, Marcus, Paul, Tim, and Lauren will be in Athens for UMass and number 5 Georgia to break down everything from the gridiron to the grill for Week 12 of the college football season. SEC Nation presented by Regions Bank right here on the SEC Network. Also streaming live on the ESPN app. Here's head coach Robert Jones. 6 years on the sidelines in Norfolk, Virginia. 14-19 record a season ago, but finished in their conference, the MEAC, 11-5, tied for 4th. They lost their season opener to Michigan, 63-44, then blasted Mid-Atlantic Christian out of North Carolina, 108-50, and then toppled Clarion of Pennsylvania, 74-46.
And you know, Birch, these last 3 games that we've seen these lower tier teams come in here, they've all been well coached. Here's another team that's well coached. They do a good job of playing basketball on both ends of the floor.
Keontae Chavis knocks down his first. And the second is good as well. And the lead for South Carolina back to single digits, 27-19. Carolina basketball. 3:40 to play here in the first. Bryant, Campbell, Gravett, Minaya, and Hashe on the floor for South Carolina.
Because they got that 30-second violation against the Gamecocks last time.
Here's a big rebound for Bryant, and they put back the hoop and the harm for the freshman.
Great offensive rebound, Keyshawn Bryant. Sort of like what Justin Minaya has been doing. He's been playing so-so game, but really working hard on the offensive glass, getting putbacks. That's how he's been scoring.
6 offensive rebounds now for South Carolina. Foul whistled on C.J. Kelly, the redshirt freshman's second, as Bryant unable to convert the three-point play. Lead is back to 10. And that's a foul on Keyshawn Bryant, his first. What would you like to see Keyshawn Bryant work on as the season progresses?
Well, if you watch that last foul shot he shot, his form was not as good as it can be. I'd like to see him work on his form. I'd like to see him work on his ball handling. I think he's a little careless with the ball when he gets it in his hand. He's got to really focus on protecting that ball. That's the one thing that's going to make him a better basketball player, and then working on his outside jump shot.
South Carolina has missed their last 9 three-point tries. Gravett thought about one there. And Bryant talked about ball handling. There he goes, takes an extra step.
You know, and if he was more confident with his jump shot, that was a shot. That was an opportunity to take a jump shot. But he's the kind of guy that wants to get downhill, get to the rim, and finish at the rim. And that's what he was doing. Good defense by Hasay, just standing there waiting to take the charge, not putting his hands down, draw the foul.
Grab it, baseline. And he'll go to the line as he is fouled.
And that's what we want to see from Hassani. You know, he gets to the basket, he goes strong. He's a guy that can shoot the jump shot. Here you see him getting to the rim and going up strong, drawing the foul. Very good at that. He should do more of it.
First foul on Mustadi Pitt.
And he's a guy that's got pretty good form. You watch his follow through. He holds it, shoots the ball well. He's really put a lot of time in on working on his form.
Joe Bryant just checking in for Norfolk State, number 4. He's got the basketball as he passes ahead. Talk about winner, Joe Bryant, in high school. His freshman season, he was the backup quarterback for Lake Taylor High School. They won the state championship. Last year, he led his team to their first ever state championship in basketball.
That's an athlete, star athlete.
Carolina forcing the turnover. Minaya to grab it. And it will remain with the Gamecocks. 2:05 to play here in the first. Carolina with a 10-point advantage. B.J. Fitzgerald, the 6'6 freshman out of Danville, Virginia, on the floor now, number 1. Norfolk State has put together a pretty good perimeter defense here in the last few minutes. Deep 3, grab it, yes! He's got 3.
And that's good to see from Hassani Gravett. Making that early 3 has made him feel more relaxed, shooting the ball with confidence. It's only going to help his game throughout this game, make him better.
He's got 10 points now. Head fake there for Pitt. Felipe Hasay thought he had all ball there, but he's going to be whistled for the personal foul. Second foul on Felipe.
It's on Justin Minaya.
Yeah, count it to Minaya, so 2 shots coming up here for Alex Long.
Justin Minaya doing a very good job of being active on the glass. Getting back. He just looks like he's standing there to me. You know, I don't know what that called. Well, maybe he got the back. Couldn't see that. So now that offensive glass, that's what they weren't getting the last game. Ball bounces out. They went after the rebound. They weren't doing that last game. Not giving them extra possessions.
13-point lead for the Gamecocks. Hasse has it batted away, but looks like Joe Bryant got a hand in there on Felipe, so he will go to the line.
The Gamecocks doing a good job of moving the ball against the zone, finding that open man in the middle, and that open man in the middle is making a play. Either he's getting to the rim or he's finding the open guy.
Last time out for Carolina in the loss to Stony Brook, they did not shoot well from the free throw line.
No, they didn't. And they practiced shooting free throws that next day.
TJ Moss back on for the Gamecocks. Both free throws are good there for Felipe Hasse, and the Gamecocks have a 14-point lead now with just over a minute to play in the first. And Frank Martin, he issued a challenge, and I think his players have responded, especially the bigs and the upperclassmen. So look in on that Gamecock huddle, and you've got Hassani Gravett, 10 points. He's hit 3 3-pointers. Coach Sarr started the game very good defensively, and then you see Chris Silva kind of getting into his role.
Yeah, and Hassani Gravett, you want to see him more focused offensively. He's a guy that can drive the hoop, drive the ball, and he's also a good three-point shooter. He just mixed those two up. He's going to get open looks. Chris Silva playing his role. He's a lot more relaxed. He knows that these other guys playing as well as they're playing have taken some of the pressure off of him. So he is, he's really into the game. He's really focused on what he's got to do. And Felipe Hasse as well. You watch him. He's made some pretty good plays, rotating on defense, blocking shots, and rebounding.
And one thing, Alex, that will not go in the box score is communication. And I've noticed that Hassani Gravett, Coach Sarr, Chris Silva, they have been much better communicating on the floor tonight.
And on defense, you have to talk. You have to communicate. You got to let your teammate know there's a pick coming. I've got him. You got to do all those little things. And they have been doing it tonight. That's the one thing that they have in their scouting report. We have to communicate with each other and let everybody know what's going on.
So back to the line, Hasse, he hit both shots his last time there.
Like I said, Hasse is a lot more focused as well. He's included in those two bigs, Coach Sarr and Silva. You know, this team that he's got in right now is a fast team. He's got shooters in. A lot more mobile. It's a pressing team as well.
And that takes the pressure off the freshman Lawson, Keyshawn Bryant, TJ Moss when he's on the floor.
It does. It does.
Left wing three, too strong, and here's Campbell soaring in.
Going after the rebound, not letting the rebound just fall and somebody pick it up. They're going after rebounds tonight.
South Carolina will play for the last shot before halftime. Lead 37-23. Campbell. Three-pointer off the mark. And the buzzer sounds on the first half, and South Carolina. Frank Martin said muscle up tonight, boys. They certainly have done so through the first half of action here in Columbia. They lead 37-23. Stay with us. South Carolina leads Norfolk State 37-23. Second meeting all time between the two teams. You see Frank Martin on the Gamecock sideline, and you know, he was really wanting his bigs, his upperclassmen, his veteran guys to really step it up tonight, and they answered the call.
As he should, and they did. You know, Coach Sarr, Silva, Hasse, and Hassani Gravett. They've all stepped up. They're all playing well.
Just joining us, Norfolk State in the yellow and green, attacking the goal to the right of your screen. Carolina in the home whites.
And South Carolina come out in the 2-3 zone. Doing a good job of contesting, rotating and contesting, getting a hand in the face of the shooter. That's what they've got to do. They're going to play that zone. The thing about a zone, though, you've got to make sure you rebound. And it's great to see Justin Minaya make that shot. Everybody else has been making threes. It's his turn now.
That's his first of the season. He was 0 for 5 coming into this ball game, and Justin Minaya nailing that three-pointer.
And he needed that.
He's got 5 points. Minaya on defense trying to take it away from Norfolk State, and there's Chris Silva going to the deck.
Gamecocks are very aggressive on the glass. Everybody's getting to the rim, trying to bring that ball down.
How about Chris Silva hitting the floor and then popping up to get that loose ball? And that foul is on C.J. Kelly, and the redshirt freshman now has 3.
And that's the kind of athlete he is. He's very aggressive. He's going to go after the ball every opportunity he gets. He's hunting rebounds now.
Largest lead of the game here for South Carolina at 17. Silva, Minaya, Kotsar, Campbell, and Lawson, the 5 on the floor for South Carolina.
That was an ill-advised pass. I don't think it was there. Young players got to get used to making that pass, knowing when to throw it and when not.
It's Whitley driving into traffic.
And it's good to see the Gamecock bigs step in and take charges. They hadn't been doing that. I know Coach Martin, you know, that's very important to his defense, is that weak side comes over and help the helper. Coach
Offensive
taking
foul.
that charge.
That's the third for Whitley.
Yeah, that's the third.
They call him Diesel.
Yeah, and when you look at his body, you can tell why.
Minaya kick out. Lawson, little stutter step. Has this shot blocked. Blocked by Jordan Butler, the 6'6" senior from Hartford, Connecticut. Air ball on that three-point try by Jamerson.
And the fans are letting him know that is an air ball.
– 17-point Gamecock lead. Just underway here in the second half from Columbia. Awesome little lob pass to Kotsar. Gamecocks trying to play a little high-low there.
All right, that's a design play. Spartans sniffed it out. They knew what was going on. Able to get the deflection.
Whitley with 3 fouls, still on the floor. Butler runs into Kotsar, and it's South Carolina basketball with the lead.
Stepped on the line there.
Now A.J. Lawson kind of maybe showing his freshmanness.
Yeah, he's taken a few shots and made a few passes, but he's still doing a pretty good job.
And forcing the turnover.
Good
is
job
Trey
by
Campbell.
Good job by Trey Campbell, putting the pressure on that point guard at the top. They're doing a good job on that ball, that high ball screen, talking to each other, communicating.
Here's Lawson, skips it down to Silva. A mid-range jump shot from Silva is not there. It's still a 17-point lead for the Gamecocks. Beneath 17 minutes to play in this ball game. Around the SEC tonight, Georgia is at Temple. LSU, 22nd ranked Tigers, hosting Memphis. And the number 5 Tennessee Volunteers taking on Georgia Tech. Yeah, that's third on Jordan Butler.
Third foul on Butler.
So Butler with 3 and Whitley with 3 for Norfolk State. Nice jumper by Minaya, and a good assist there from Hassani Gravett. Gamecocks a little slow getting back on defense there.
Minaya doing a great job of flashing to that post. That's the spot that's open. And now everybody's feeling it now. They're pushing the ball up the floor. They get the transition game going. Everybody, you can see they've got a little swag now. That was the one thing that's been missing from the game.
Whitley sees a hole. 44-23, South Carolina, largest lead of the ball game. Hassani Gravett leading all scores. He's got 12. Well, that guy right there is a pretty good wide receiver, but I tell you what, Alex English, in high school, he was one heck of a basketball player, too. That's Debo Samuel.
Was he?
Oh,
I didn't know that.
He could play.
Oh, I saw his
He
game.
could still play.
Yeah, he was on fire Saturday. Every time he touched the ball, you just knew it was going to be a touchdown or it was going to be a long yardage game. I like his game.
The South Carolina huddle. Hassani Gravett leading all scorers with 12, and South Carolina has their largest lead, 21.
And they needed a game like this. Takes a lot of pressure off of them. Tell you about Debo Samuels, man. Now I know why he can move like he moves. He was a basketball player first.
Another Gamecock wide receiver that could play on the hardwood, Sidney Rice.
Sidney Rice, that's right.
And Alshon Jeffrey, you know, when you play at Calhoun County, you got a guy by the name of Zam Frederick there as your basketball coach. You can play basketball as well.
Did Alshon play for Zam?
He did.
I did not know that. That tells you why he's such a good football player. He played basketball.
Zam Frederick led the nation in scoring when he was a Gamecock, and his son is the all-time leading scorer in South Carolina high school basketball history.
He was a pretty good basketball player, but his dad was pretty good too. And a good coach.
Gravett inside. Oh, that is a nice work. Gravett to Silva to Kotza.
That's a beautiful play. Big, helping big. Gamecocks are taking advantage of this zone defense that the Spartans are playing. You see them talking on defense, communicating, pointing.
Nice move to the basket there, and nice touch as well by Alex Long. And
you know he's feeling it now.
Gravett.
Transition, he comes down and takes a three. That's an NBA three.
Hassani Gravett, 4 3-pointers tonight, and there's a big three on the other end. Much needed three-pointer. That one chucked in there by Derek Jamerson. We've got a timeout on the floor. It is South Carolina rolling by 19 over Norfolk State. Sunday on the SEC Network, it's the second-ranked Kentucky Wildcats hosting VMI, 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 Central. You can always watch on the ESPN app from anywhere. South Carolina, 14 assists, 18 made field goals, and they are enjoying this ball game like that young lady was enjoying that lollipop earlier.
Yes, they are.
I don't think Dad's enjoying the spending as much, probably.
When you're making shots and playing pretty good defense, it's a fun game. But I've got a trivia question for you, Bert. Who is the greatest small forward to ever play for the Norfolk State Spartans?
Well, they have one NBA player.
This is the greatest. Their greatest player.
He played for the Denver Nuggets, right?
Nope.
Nope.
He has two NBA World Championship rings, 2 different teams. Let you stew on that one. Gamecocks have that small unit in. Well, no, they've got the 2 bigs in.
Here's Silva, whips it over to Bryant. Bryant lobs underneath to Kotsar. That's how you do the high-low there.
Yes, and the Spartans, they realize that they cannot get back into this game playing zone. They went to a man-to-man. They cannot guard this team man-to-man. Gamecocks doing a good job of finding the big guy inside.
Jump ball situation. Possession arrow goes to the Gamecocks. It's not Joe Dumars, is it?
Not Joe Dumars.
Who was not even a small forward.
He wasn't a small forward.
Who is it?
I'm going to let you stew on it a little more.
I could stew until the cows come home.
I'll tell you, give you another hint. Played for the Milwaukee Bucks. That's where he won his first championship.
Lawson for 3. And nets it.
Gamecocks are feeling pretty good right now. Doing a good job defensively. Moving the ball offensively. They've got them playing man-to-man now. That's what they want to do. They're trapping. They've got hands moving. They're helping each other. They're pushing the ball up the floor. They're playing pretty good basketball.
Rabbit stops, pops. Too strong back iron. Now, if it was the Milwaukee Bucks winning a championship, I don't think I was alive then.
You were alive.
There's a nice bank shot there. Put in by Butler, Jordan Butler. The suspense is killing me, Alex.
I'll give you another hint. Won another championship with the Washington Bullets.
Gravett, deep 3. And yes!
Gravett
he is lit tonight.
Yes, he is.
18 points for Hassani.
And you look at Hassani's face, you look at his intent, he is ready to play basketball tonight. He's focused on both ends of the floor. Defensively, he's guarding his man, he's talking, he's helping, he's switching.
Pitt skip past 2 seconds on the shot clock, now 1.
They call that on Chris Silver. No, he's got to help. I mean, that's another good foul. It's not a silly foul. It's a foul where he had to help his man. Sonny got beat. He was on a big. Silver just backed in, got his hands up. Sonny's got the big. Chris comes in to help. Gets him with that lower body. They're doing a good job of helping each other defensively. Guy gets beat, they're coming over to help. Guy goes to help, they go help the helper. Gamecocks got shooters in now.
2-on-1.
Great job, Hassani getting back on D. They end up turning it over.
That was Bryant, the freshman. You have been saying that you want him to work on his ball handling.
I want him to work on his ball handling. Get his handle down. But Hassani Gravett did a great job getting back defensively and knowing that he's got a big, so he goes for the steal, forces the turnover, but Keyshawn's not quite there with the handle.
Hassani Gravett, 18 points on 6 of 8 shooting, 5 of 6 from the three-point line. 1 point away from tying his career high of 19, which he got last year against Mississippi State.
And on top of that, he's doing a great job defensively. That was him who got that last steal.
Minaya put him on the line.
It's good to see Justin Minaya have a decent game. He's getting back. He's playing good defense as well. He's making his open look. Gamecocks are in a good mode right now. They're playing good defense. They're finding each other on offense. They're sharing the ball, like you say. Everybody's getting a taste of the pie.
And Minaya now with 10 points. A couple of rebounds, 2 assists. Back-to-back double-digit scoring games for Justin Minaya now. Baseline, big jam for Jordan Butler.
Gamecocks got caught in an awkward position that time defensively.
Butler had 10 points in the Spartans' last game. That was the win against Clarion.
And he's a load. He's a big guy.
Yeah, if they call Stephen Whitley Diesel, then Butler must be the Mack truck.
He is the Mack truck.
It is South Carolina 60, Norfolk State 36. The South Carolina Gamecocks leading Norfolk State 60-36. It's been all gas, no brakes for Frank Martin's boys tonight. Boy, have they responded since that loss to Stony Brook last week by 2. They lead here over the Spartans 60-36. South Carolina with 2 players in double-digit scoring. And that has the fans all over just hopping up and down.
They're doing a great job of playing team basketball. The bench is 26-15. That's mainly because of Hassani Gravett. He's 5 for 8 from the three-point line. They're doing a pretty good job of sharing the pie.
Hassani Gravett working on what could be a career night. Here's Minaya. Gravett flying in there, trying to get the putback, but unable to do so. But still a good hustle play there for Hassani Gravett.
Very aggressive. Very aggressive defense right now. The Gamecocks back in their man-to-man.
Minaya in good position to get that rebound ahead to Hassani Gravett. Gravett will settle the offense here. 10:31 to play. Travel.
You know, Justin Minaya, he's been, these 3 games, he's been doing a pretty good job on the glass. He's been their best offensive rebounder. Would like to see him attack the rim more, but he's been doing a good job on the glass.
Pitt passes over Chavis. Chavis being guarded by Moss. Chavis now with a mid-range jumper.
And there's Minaya again going for that rebound, getting fouled, doing a good job of blocking out. This is one of the drills that they do in practice, making sure that they touch the shooter, block him out, and not let him get to the rim.
Armani Branch with the foul. We got to go back to that trivia question.
Oh.
I still have no idea. The best ever small forward in Norfolk State history.
And he was a mentor to Alex English in Milwaukee.
Alex, you know you're older than I am, right? There's a 3 from Campbell off the mark. So I don't remember Washington nor Milwaukee ever winning a championship. So who is it?
He played with Wes Unseld and Elvin Hayes. You know those 2 guys.
Yes.
Okay. You know Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Gar Hurd and Oscar Robertson.
Yeah, of course I do.
That was his Milwaukee team. And in Washington, he won with Wes Unseld, Elvin Hayes, Larry Spriggs, Greg Ballard.
And this gentleman's name is?
Bob Dandridge.
Bob Dandridge.
Should be in the Hall of Fame. It's not there. It's one of the injustices of NBA and the Hall of Fame is not having Bob Dandridge in it because he was a great player. I can remember seeing him lock up Julius Irving and George McGinnis in the same game. Butler, he's doing a good job of trying to bring his team back.
Now, how do we change that and get him in the Hall of Fame?
Well, it's a lot of the writers, you know, and, you know, he's one of the older guys. One of the older guys who, you know, they've forgotten about. But if you look at his stats, you look at what he's done, you look at his body of work, he's been one of the greats. And I can attest to that. I played behind him.
So it's the young guys like me who don't know anything.
Yes. Yes.
Come on, writers, get with it.
Yeah, get the writers. They got to get on board.
Well, if you're on board, I'm on board.
Okay, you go and look at this guy's stats, look at his body of work, you'll be on board for real. And Butler gets an opportunity to get some rest, played good basketball in this half.
And this was during an era when you didn't have every game on television.
That's
so
right.
NBA scouts, you know, if you were coming from Norfolk State at that time, you had to be a really good player.
That's right. There you go. You know that much. And the other thing about him is that those teams would not have won the championships without him on that squad because he's a two-way player. He's a scorer as well as a defender.
Deep three by Pitt as the buzzer sounds. Here's Lawson for South Carolina. Gamecocks leading 62-38.
Had to force that one, got late in the shot clock. Had to force that one up. Gamecock, great movement, great ball movement. And there's Moss. He can make that shot. He's a good three-point shooter. That's that other young freshman that Frank's been talking about.
Now everybody has eaten except
that
Cudd.
pie.
Except Jason Cudd.
Okay, well, we're going to see.
That's the first points for.
We're going to see if we can get
Moss.
Jason Cudd a piece of that pie as well.
He has to get in the buffet line first. There's a three-pointer. Good. Count it for Branch. And a timeout on the floor here for Norfolk State as they trail 65-41. Good to see T.J. Moss, the freshman, you know, coming off a little foot injury during that exhibition against Augusta, getting his points tonight.
Yes. And you see he's one of those long, lanky players that Frank likes. He can do a lot of things. He's athletic, and you know it's just taking him a while to get out here on the court. Now that he's on the court, I think he's going to be a big contributor to this team. You know, he gives them another guard, another guy that can handle the ball.
South Carolina, every player who has played tonight, that's 9, they have scored and had at least one rebound as Carolina leading Norfolk State with 8 minutes to play in the game, 65-41.
And Birch, they needed a game like this. You know, they've had 2 tough games and end up losing one, but this is a game they've built a lead. They're playing good. They're shooting the ball well. Everybody's getting involved. So this is a good game to have before they go on the road. They're feeling good about themselves.
Next up for South Carolina, a trip to the Mohegan Sun in Uncasville, Connecticut, as the Hall of Fame Tip-Off Classic continues, and South Carolina will have the Friars of Providence. You know, South Carolina could possibly play Michigan twice this season.
That's right. They could end up playing them at the Mohegan Sun on Saturday. A little premature, but we'll see.
Lawson driving in on Bryant. And it will be A.J. Lawson with some free throws coming up. He's a 60% shooter coming into this ball game, A.J. is.
And the Gamecocks have gone back to their zone offense, putting that guy in the middle. And usually in that type of zone, you put a guy in the middle that can make plays. A.J. Lawson can make plays. Here you see him driving to the hole and find the guy on the wing.
A.J. Lawson in double figures now scoring. He's got 11 points.
Gamecock bench leading their bench 31-18, doing a good job. Sonny Gravett, Moss, Hasse.
So back-to-back games for the freshman A.J. Lawson in double figure scoring.
And this swarming zone defense, this is the type of defense that they play in practice. Contesting shots, getting out, closeouts.
Will remain with South Carolina. 67-41 Gamecocks here with 7 minutes to play. Nice floater for A.J. Lawson as he goes high, drops it in for his 13th point of the night.
And what the fans see here with this team tonight, they could possibly see, if they get it going, they could possibly see this type of game every night here. They're a very exciting team. They've got a lot of exciting players. If they can keep those bigs active and out of foul trouble.
And landing that three-pointer is Nick Thomas.
Nick Thomas, the ex-football player. I think you said he played quarterback?
That was Bryant, Joe Bryant.
Joe Bryant.
The freshman.
Okay.
Nick Thomas, he's a product of Arlington, Texas. And here comes Thomas in transition. Nice spin move in the lane and count the bucket. That's good hands, good use of the body there. Joe Bryant, that's your football player. He looked like a quarterback right there, too.
Yes, he did.
How about that, Lawson?
And A.J. Lawson showing us his skills.
South Carolina leads 71-46 now. 5:19 to play. Pitt for three. And Lawson with a big rebound. Quickly ahead, trying to shoot it forward to grab it. Look at Silva on the hustle. That's a play that you could, see a senior kind of giving up on, especially in a big lead like this.
Not Chris Silva. He's a guy that's going to hustle down the floor every play. He did a great job of getting down the floor that time and probably would have gotten the open layup if the defender wasn't there. But good job fighting and taking the ball, not giving up.
Silva with 4 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Yeah, he's not, not a night that you will look in the paper tomorrow and check the box score and be amazed by Chris Silva's stat line. But what he has done has been what he needed to do.
Right. And that's what he needed to do. He needed to relax, do your thing, play your game. Let your teammates contribute. Let them play their game, and it makes it easy for everybody. Everybody plays their role.
And it's the 3rd game of the season.
Yes.
Here's Silva.
That's what he does. He's a lot more relaxed tonight. Not rushing his shot.
So, message to the chat rooms. South Carolina basketball is okay.
South Carolina basketball is okay. I said that from the beginning. I believe in them. I think that they're a young team. They've got a lot of learning to do, but once they learn, you've got a lot of potential. A lot of good things can happen.
Nick Thomas with a couple of 3-pointers now. Lawson just inside the three-point line, banks it in.
And this guy can go get his own shot. You know, since Sindarius Thornwell, we haven't had anybody that can go and get their own shot and score and make a play for somebody else.
Lawson with 17 points now. There's Chris Silva.
Help the helper.
Lawson to Silva, too high. Kick out Nick Thomas for another three. Yes, he's got 3 trips down the floor and 3 consecutive three-pointers for Thomas.
And he's their leading scorer. He's having another good night. You know, you asked me about what did I think Keyshawn Bryant need to work on to make his game better. And I told you with Lawson, I think his decision-making on his passes, that time, very good pass. Just sharpen up his passes. You know, you've seen him throw a few passes too high. But that'll come with time. That'll come with practice. That'll come with playing.
South Carolina rolling 77-52. Thomas, another 3.
And this guy's on fire right now.
He's got 4. Nick Thomas. 4 3-pointers, but Norfolk State trailing by 22. Tonight after Memphis LSU men's basketball at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, the SEC Now team is set to recap all the hoop games and talk more about the latest football news around the conference. No one covers the SEC like we do. You can also see it streaming live on the ESPN app.
And Birch, if you look at A.J. Lawson's line, his stat line, he is playing a pretty good basketball game. He's 6 for 13 field goals, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, 1 block, 1 steal. Only negative I see is the 5 turnovers, and that's passes that you make, ball handling. But other than that, he is doing a pretty good job playing this game tonight.
Lawson in double-figure scoring with 17, Minaya with 10, and Hassani Gravett leading all scorers in this game with 18 on 6 of 9 shooting from the floor, 5 of 6 from long distance.
And we may see Cud get a bite of the pie. He is
Jason Cud is on the floor.
And they were running that play just for him. They were supposed to get the lob to him, but didn't see him cutting to the rim.
Foul on Armani Branch, his 3rd. Norfolk State with 21 rebounds, only 2 offensive boards tonight.
Gamecocks doing a good job on the glass on both ends of the floor. The bigs keeping them off the glass. Justin Minaya, Hassani Gravett, they're going to the rim as well, getting all those long balls, long rebounds. So you got to have everybody going to that offense, to that defensive glass.
I'll say with 9 points now. Thomas, could this be 5? Oh, give him a nickel.
And he is shooting the ball.
5 consecutive 3-pointers there for Nick Thomas.
He is shooting it well.
Norfolk State's leading scorer. He came into this game 5 of 14 from behind the line. Minaya wants 1.
And he could have gotten that ball into Jason Cud, and he could have got his bite of the pie.
Bryant, nifty little move there and put him on the line as the lay-in is good. As the Spartans, hey, they're still playing. 1:39 to go in this ball game.
And Hassani Gravett telling Jason Minaya, you had Cud underneath. He was open, wide open. Get the ball to him. Had a small man on him.
And Bryant completes the 3-point play. It's now 78-61. A minute 37 to go. Gravett beats the press. Jason Cudd from Socastee High School in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Socastee at one time was coached by Dan D'Antoni.
Yes. Beach Ball Classic. I think he founded the Beach Ball Classic.
He did. Great coach at Marshall University and then in the NBA.
And in the NBA, coach with his brother Mike. Almost.
Socastee High, they've put out some good big guys. Had the twins that played for Missouri. Had Stephon Eggers, who played here at South Carolina for George Felton. Bryant at the line. Knocks it down.
And he hadn't had the type of game he's had last 2 games. Spent more time on the bench, but his other teammates played well, played hard.
And as a freshman, he hasn't needed to tonight with everybody else contributing. And
yeah, that's right.
I mean, the whole team has put something in. We're just waiting for, see if Jason Cudd will get a bucket. Good follow through there for Bryant. Coming up on 60 seconds to play in this game, South Carolina will move to 2-1.
And Joe Bryant looking, he's hunting that 3. He's hunting that ball.
It's good, Bryant. Now the three-point shot has come alive for Norfolk. Now they'll press, grab it to Bryant. Oh, he had Cudd.
Oh, my goodness.
He had 7-1 Cudd on 6'5", or check that, 6'2", Nick Thomas.
And somebody they should have told him to get the ball inside. Give Cudd an opportunity. Give him a bite of this pie.
.35 seconds to play. Rebound for Bryant. And Bryant for Norfolk banging into Lawson. So Lawson will go to the line again, and that's the 3rd foul for Bryant.
And Lawson doing a great job of shielding the ball with his body. Otherwise, that could have been a turnover. Instead, he gets 2 free throws.
$18 points now for the freshman, A.J. Lawson. I think he tried to miss that intentionally to give Cudd a chance.
They're going to have another opportunity.
Bryant for 3. Rebound, South Carolina and Lawson with 8 seconds. And Jason Cudd will have to wait another day, but South Carolina, an overall team effort tonight. Asani Gravett, A.J. Lawson, Justin Minaya, all in double-figure scoring.
And they did a great job on the defensive end as well as on the glass, not letting this team get in the game.
South Carolina moves to 2-1. Norfolk State falls to 2-2. Up next for the Gamecocks, a road trip to Connecticut to face Providence. We'll see you again. Our next broadcast as the Gamecocks take on Wofford. For our entire crew in Columbia, from my wonderful broadcast partner, Alex English, I am Birch Antley saying so long from the Colonial Life Arena. We'll talk to you next time.